And welcome back to DevOps Roundup.
This is the final video of our 4-part series where we evaluate and look at all the different Git tools out there and help you determine which one is right for you and your company. And so at this point, we focus a lot on pricing, and we've given you a lot of background and some information, our 2 cents, if you will. And so in this video, we're going to kind of put it all together and give you some as much objective of an analysis that we can give you. English is hard sometimes. And hopefully help you arrive at the right conclusion for you and your team.
Yeah, we're going to take a stab at this using a Confluence whiteboard. Do you want to drive that, Alex?
Yeah, I definitely do. I just did not know you had hit record yet, so I was like coming up with a nice little.
Well, there's going to be a lot of editing at the beginning. I'm getting better at editing. At least I think I'm getting better at editing. So
we'll find out if this clip actually makes it into the video. Then we'll know for sure or not. All right. I'll go ahead and share my screen. All right, folks. So here we have the 3 tools that we've been looking at. And just to refresh your memory, in case you missed the last 3 videos on our channel, we have GitLab, GitHub, and Bitbucket. And we've taken a look at the pricing of each one. We've taken a look at their free tier, their mid, regular tier, and then their premium ultimate tier. And so you know the pricing, right? So you know the prices, and you now know what functionalities you get. And what we wanted to do is kind of give you a couple of more situational / context type of information for you to have, especially when you're making a selection. Because for a good sized enterprise, right, you're not spending $20 on these tools. It's probably going to be $2, $3, $4, maybe $600,000, $700,000.
Yeah, it could definitely be 5 to 6 figures.
Yeah. And so you don't want to approach this lightly. And price is one variable, right? Price is just one of the very many variables that we have. And so we wanted to just kind of talk about each of these items here and kind of give you our 2 cents on pricing, core functionality, developer experience, security permissions, and then
integrations.
Yep, that was going to be the next one that I was going to put in here. So integrations and ecosystem.
Yeah. And
so we're trying to
another category, maybe AI solutions.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one here. So let's see if I can make a little bit more room on here. And although they're all, I mean, to a certain degree, I feel like everybody but Bitbucket is lacking on the AI part.
And what's the deal? GitLab is so much bigger than the other 2 logos.
Fair use. I just copy pasted logos from the internet. My son today was asking me, he's like, "Are we allowed to use a Nintendo logo or like the Donkey?" Because I made a video on Donkey Kong, and I'm like, just give credit on somewhere on the video.
Yeah, I think you're okay as long as you give credit to it and you're not using it.
So shout out to GitLab.com, GitHub.com, and Bitbucket.org, where I took your images from.
Yes. Okay. Our friends at Atlassian, GitLab, and GitHub. Yeah.
So I'm not sure if we want to do this with a pen or with some text here, but ultimately we kind of just want to add a little bit of information, right, and kind of help maybe grade each one. And
we're gonna go with the internet grading system, one Rodney likes to use.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. So we'll stick to letters, and we'll do. So let me put a little scale here. So just to remind you, we have S, A, B, C, D, and F.
Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna fail anybody on this, but sure.
So we're just going to evaluate these items and just go through categories and then kind of give it a letter here. And so you'll have some grades. So on the GitLab, I'm going to give this one, it's kind of hard. I'm stuck in between a rock and a hard place with GitLab because it is the most expensive out of the bunch, but you get the most bang for your buck.
You do, yeah.
And so I kind of want to give it a B, but where are you at? Should we drum roll it and go? We both announce our.
Oh, we should have prepared like little flags to hold.
Yeah,
up.
little
swimming score.
You don't have a whiteboard by you? I'll write it down on my whiteboard and I'll flip it around.
All my whiteboards are attached to walls.
I have a shout out Team 24 Vegas, a little whiteboard here that they gave out for Confluence.
Oh, very nice. I do not have one of those.
Oh, you should go check your swag pack. Okay, so
all right.
on
Well,
the
yeah,
pricing,
getting back to scoring, I
1, 2,
would,
3, go.
yeah, I would give it a C as far as
C.
pricing. Yeah.
Okay, and so I think I I would change my mind for that too. I think that's a fair grade because, like I said, it's the most expensive. You're gonna invest the most.
Mhm.
However, it's you also getting a lot of capabilities here,
You are.
a
You
lot of
are,
native.
and I may come back and adjust this, but a C is a nice even score to score the very first item on any page, and then you can adjust up and down everything
Yeah,
else that you're going to do.
yeah.
Um, but
Up next on GitHub, we'll go 1, 2, 3, go.
yeah, I'm giving it a A.
A. I was gonna go with an A as well.
Yeah.
I think from a pricing perspective, I think GitHub is probably the best priced.
Hmm.
Maybe you'll see what the grade that I give Bitbucket,
Hmm.
but I think for bang for your buck and value and price, I think GitHub is better positioned when it comes to the price.
I completely agree. I think you get a lot of value for your GitHub purchase.
Yeah,
Okay, 1, 2, 3 for
Bitbucket
Bitbucket.
S
I was going to give it a C.
S. Well, because price
I don't
wise,
think
just
an S, but go ahead. What's your reasoning?
pure price, it's uncontested. It's $3 or $6.
Yeah,
It's the
but
cheapest.
the only thing it does is version control. Well,
Yeah, but
version
that's why we have the
control
core
pipelines.
functionality. That's why
Yeah,
we have the core functionality bucket next.
yeah,
So from
yeah.
a pure pricing perspective,
Okay,
it's the
well, from
cheapest
a
of the bunch.
yeah, okay, so yeah, I would. I'm not sure I'd go all the way to S.
All
If
right, I
anything, I'd
can
say
be
A.
negotiated down to an A because
An A.
I'll give you your value is not there.
Yeah,
We'll give it an A, but it is the cheapest out of the
this is
bunch.
the
Just wanted
cheapest,
to mention that from
and
the record.
we are talking cloud. I always default to data center when I'm thinking Atlassian products. In the cloud, we do have it does approach more the functionality of GitHub and
Yeah.
GitLab, but it's not completely there.
Okay,
Um,
core functionality for the products here. So we'll go with this one, and we'll go. Whoops. 1, 2, 3.
S.
A.
Oh, okay. So I would definitely say this is more of an S than an A, but I can be talked down to an A.
So let me see if I can make an argument. So from a core functionality, it obviously covers all the basics, right?
Mhm.
The the part that I didn't like is that the core functionality, um, because of the overlap between the data center and the cloud versions,
Mhm.
like I felt like you get the same functionality for both, other than you get them build minutes, right?
That and the add-ons are different depending on if you're,
Okay.
and we're not considering add-ons in this particular,
Yeah. I j-
exercise.
yeah, I just felt like the project management part is an add-on,
Mhm.
which makes it like the truer Jira killer type of thing. Um, yeah, I mean, I guess I could be swayed.
Their AI is 100% an add-on.
Top notch.
You know,
All
um,
right, I'll be swayed. I haven't used GitLab in a few years, so I'll give it to you.
okay,
But I just think it's great core functionality, but you are paying for it.
true, true.
All right, we'll come over to GitHub and 1, 2, 3,
Hey,
A.
yeah,
Yeah, I was gonna go with A on this one. I think
yeah,
GitHub still kind of does that sweet spot of
mhm,
GitHub is still very developer focused,
mhm.
but gives you enough security, gives you enough AI, gives you enough like Copilot's really interweaved into all of this.
Yeah, it is an additional price, but yeah, it's that's it's there.
Yeah. And so I like it. It's got a good number of cores or core functionality.
Mhm.
All right, let's move on to Bitbucket here. And we're gonna go with 1, 2, 3, F.
C. Oh, an F. Wow. Well, I could be talked down to a D.
I
Um,
think, yeah, maybe we middle F might be too harsh,
I
but
think it's too hard.
Bitbucket does what it says. It's literally a bucket for your Git. And that's all
Well,
it does.
yeah, when so if we're talking data center, I would agree that it's closer to an F than a D. But we're not. We're talking about the cloud version. And
So the 50 build minutes is good enough for you.
well, no, but that's not necessarily do we consider that part of the functionality, or is that another category?
I
Um,
think I think that would have been part of the core functionality of what you're
okay.
getting because the build minutes, even on the paid versions, they were just lackluster.
Yeah, but the fact that they have Bitbucket pipelines, I would say pipelines is better than GitHub Actions, and it's about as good as GitLab CI. Um, uh, so I give them more benefit for having the Bitbucket pipelines. Also, code review is built in to Bitbucket on both the on-prem and the cloud. So it's not just a version control tool. Um, it is closer to just a version control tool than the other two that are true platforms, GitHub and GitLab. Bitbucket is not a platform. You need to plug Jira and
Yeah.
Confluence and Artifactory or whatever into it to make a full
And that's what
platform.
I was gonna call out too, right? Where Bitbucket is so specific and niche that you wouldn't run a business with just Bitbucket.
Correct.
Versus the other two, you can get pretty far running your business with just the other two platforms.
That is correct. You don't necessarily need to bolt on lots of other tools. You can, but you don't necessarily need to if you're just starting out.
Yeah. And that's usually where Bitbucket then takes a hit with this price because it's so cheap, but you gotta buy 10 other tools.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. I'll sing with the D.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
On the developer experience, so this is UX,
Mhm.
friendliness of features for the developers, the developer focus of the tool, right?
Yeah.
Um,
1, 2, and
B.
3, C.
Okay, I was gonna give B.
You're a little more generous than I am. I don't think it's a poor development experience, but it's not the best of the three here.
I was giving it the high developer experience grade for the simple fact that you do have the flexibility between data center and cloud. So GitLab meets you where you're at.
That is true. I wasn't considering that as part of developer experience, so I would up it to a B.
I
But
feel like it's a critical part, right? Because if you're a developer and all of a sudden you're moving to the cloud, now it's on you to move everything to the cloud.
yeah, yeah.
um, I
I,
just,
I I'm comfortable with a B.
yeah, all right,
I'm not sure I'd give it an A.
yeah, I definitely wouldn't give it an A, but happy
Yeah,
with the B. All
yeah,
right, we're going to move on to GitHub,
yeah.
and 1, 2, 3,
A.
B.
So I would argue that GitHub has a better developer experience than GitLab does. GitHub is definitely more um, geared towards your end developer than GitLab. GitLab is looking at the entire development staff. Everyone that's involved in the SDLC. GitLab is considering them. GitHub is focusing on the developers and all the functionality they have that takes care of the other aspects of DevOps is a second thought to GitHub, where it's a primary thought to GitLab.
Yeah,
Uh,
I can be swayed up. I am a huge fan of GitHub, and I think from the developer perspective, if I had to pick blindly, I would just pick from GitHub because I think also brand recognition carries some weight,
it does, yeah.
right? And most people have heard, or most open source projects are on GitHub.
Yeah, the majority open source projects live in GitHub. Kids in college are using GitHub.
You
Uh,
know
yeah,
what? I know why. I'll go with A for one simple feature that GitHub has, and that is their tile wall.
their tile wall.
Yeah, you never seen that? I don't know what they call it.
I've probably seen it, but I'm not sure I know it as a tile wall.
This thing,
Oh,
your code commits.
okay, yes, yes.
What better developer experience is showing off to your peers all the number of commits that you do in a given day?
Mhm.
For that, I sway over to the A.
Okay, go for an A for that. Okay, developer experience for Bitbucket is the next
Right.
one.
Ready? 1, 2, 3,
D.
C.
Oh,
Ooh.
okay. I'm more negative than you are this time.
I just think it does what it does. Like, I feel like
Again, yeah, I don't necessarily. The vast majority of the software developers I work with that are on Bitbucket projects never log into Bitbucket.
right.
I think we were talking about that in one of the other previous episodes. That So what are they experiencing as developers, except for maybe doing a code review during a merge request? They're almost never logging into Bitbucket. So what UI experience are they having?
Yeah, but I'm treating this one as like in your job when you get graded for your performance
Mhm.
and you got a met expectations, like you showed up, you did your job, you met expectations. Like to
Yeah.
me, Bitbucket meets expectations. Like it does what it says it does, doesn't
Mhm.
go above and beyond in any way, shape, or
Yeah,
form.
I guess if D is a failing grade, I like C. But if D's barely passing, I like D. So I'm okay with the C
Oh,
for
let's see, yeah.
that.
Like I said, it does what it does. It showed up to the party and it at least showed up. It remembered to show up.
Yeah.
All right, security and permissions. This one I'm going to lean more on you because I haven't really used them, but just from what I read from the capabilities, I
Mhm.
have an idea, but we'll go from
Okay.
there.
All right. Well, one, 2, and 3, and I'm gonna give it
Hey,
an A. Yeah.
yeah, I'm going to give it an A because out of the bunch, GitLab, I felt like took it more seriously.
Yes.
I could even be swayed if you're a public sector company. This is
I
an S because it's the
I
only one that's going to give
I
you.
could also go to an S as well for GitLab, but I didn't want to necessarily ding GitHub and Bitbucket for what I'm going to give them if I gave GitLab an S.
An S. Yeah, I think an argument could be made depending on the type that you are, especially if you're public sector, especially
Mhm.
if you need that extra security, especially if you need that on-premise capability,
Mhm.
although the security is now on you.
Well, actually, I'm 100% an S on this because I forgot about the dedicated instances.
Yeah, that was my argument, right? You have those dedicated gov clouds and FedRAMPs and stuff like that
Yeah.
just doesn't the other two don't even come close to competing. On top of the fact that you can then set it up in your own infrastructure much more
Mhm.
easily too.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. We'll come over to GitHub in a 1, 2, 3 A.
B.
Ooh.
I'm going to bring it a B, mainly because it doesn't have as many permission controls that both GitLab and Bitbucket do. It has some, but it doesn't have as there's not as many knobs and dials that you can tune down the permissions as the other two have. Um,
I
so
can
that's
go with
why.
the B now that you're persuading me here because I was just thinking of the A because the world runs on GitHub. And
Mhm.
so we haven't heard of any major hacks there.
Oh, there's been some major ones,
Oh,
but the vast majority of times when someone says they found a secret in a Git repository, it's in
damn it.
GitHub.
It's in GitHub. Yeah, but it's not like they hacked GitHub. It's just the repo itself probably wasn't very
Yeah,
well
it's just their
protected.
users are not behaving well.
Yeah.
However, GitLab will detect that, and there's rules you can turn on
Mm.
that would that detects, hey, someone added a secret to a repository. I'm not aware of GitHub having the same. They may be add-ons that would that do the same thing for GitHub, but we're not judging the add-ons at this point.
Yep.
Um,
All right. Moving on to Bitbucket then.
okay.
1, 2, 3, C.
B. Now I'm
B.
giving a B. It would, if it didn't have dedicated instances, which it does now. I would agree with C, but I'm giving it one bump up because of the dedicated instances.
I'm giving it a C because it's not a true enterprise tool, and as an administrator, you're able to do your Atlassian Guard and do all the settings from an Atlassian Guard perspective that configure and set up your right permissions and your users and everything for everything in Jira and Confluence, and then Bitbucket is not even part of the equation. But
You're,
your
you're
Git,
still
your
giving them a hard time for that.
yes, I think they need to fix that. So that's my C.
I do agree that it is treated as a separate
C.
entity from when you're setting up your Atlassian site. Um, it's getting better, but yeah, I could be persuaded down to a C.
All
Um,
right, we'll do
but
it.
I
It-
do think that there's certain permissions that you can set on a Bitbucket repository that's slightly better than what you can do with GitHub. And I do like the fact that you can get dedicated. It's not exactly the same thing as a GitLab dedicated, but you can have a dedicated Bitbucket instance.
Which is not in the cloud.
Just not, well, true, not in the cloud.
Yeah. All right. And then if you're following along, folks, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Let us know if you're liking this. And hopefully, we should have told you at the beginning, you should be down in the chat grading with us and see if you agree or disagree with any of our grades here. If you disagree, let us know in the comments why and what grade you would give it instead.
Mm-hmm.
All right. 2 more sections to go, and then we're going to be able to wrap this one up. So integrations and ecosystem.
Ooh, since you added them together, let's do 1, 2, 3.
C.
I'm giving a D.
I'm going to give it a C. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't mind a C, but because you said ecosystem, there's very few vendors that are writing add-ons for GitLab.
It's the trouble that I usually go with anybody with GitLab and Jira. It's always a problem.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I can be persuaded down to the D.
Yeah. So
but
yeah,
at the same time, I can argue the C because it's so well packaged vertically
it is
that you don't really need integrations and ecosystems.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's how we should be grading it. If their platform's solid enough, it doesn't need add-ons. I do think that GitLab makes it very easy to bolt on third-party applications. So you can have your GitLab platform, and then certain things you can go get a best of breed, and it has very
like your Jenkins and
in
Artifactory.
Jira.
Yeah. Well, except Jira going into Jira, coming in from the Jira side is almost impossible.
but well, I would argue that GitLab has a better Jira interface than Bitbucket does. So I'm talking myself out of the D and going into
this
C. But
okay.
I am concerned that there's little to no partner. There's no ecosystem for GitLab. It's GitLab, and then hey, it's easy to integrate with other things, but you're not going to have. There's no marketplace for GitLab to go farm and look for add-ons. So GitHub. So 1, 2, and 3.
A.
So you're giving it a little more credit than I am, because I would say a similar argument to GitLab, that GitHub does not make it difficult to bolt on other solutions. I would say GitLab is a little bit more seamless to bolt on, different testing and security packages, and use Jenkins instead of GitLab CI and stuff like that. GitHub is a little bit more not
nuanced?
Difficult, but obtuse.
Nuanced?
Yeah, more nuanced than that. It's
you know what? You're convincing me to the B, because what other world would you have to fight and figure out, is Azure DevOps Online better or GitHub better?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
now
there is a bigger ecosystem out there around GitHub, because all software, open source software, is pretty much using GitHub. And if you need to extend GitHub, there's probably an open source product or project in GitHub that extends GitHub for you.
I mean, just the Visual Studio Code integration, I think, feels much more native and clean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah. So this is I think it's a B.
You think it's a B?
Yeah. I don't think it's an A. But
all right, I'll be persuaded down only because Azure DevOps exists.
Azure DevOps. Okay.
All right. Bitbucket that comes from the king of integrations.
Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, A.
C.
C. Okay, so we're 2 off. So, and the reason I give it such a high grade is because we included the ecosystem in this column. And of the 3, Bitbucket has or an order of magnitude higher of add-ons than the other 2. Integrations, Bitbucket's not the easiest thing to tie into. So I I can see it going down a little
We
bit.
can compromise and hit the middle on the B,
Hit
because
the
I mean
middle on the B.
the only thing I think Bitbucket has going for it is that it looks like Jira.
Yeah, but I would definitely argue that both GitLab and GitHub have a better Jira integration than Bitbucket does. Um, uh, but there's definitely a lot of add-ons that you could use, from the marketplace to improve that. Um, but the fact that there's Bitbucket marketplace add-ons that help you integrate with Jira goes to my argument that the Bitbucket to Jira integration is not the best.
Well, I'll come up because of Open DevOps that Atlassian has, and Bitbucket is at the centerpiece of that.
Okay.
If my computer ever wanted to work, because they're open DevOps. I was trying to see if I can find a picture, but it's not showing up, right? Something like this, right, where it integrates so well.
Mm-hmm.
And like this snake thing, there's a couple of other cool things that are integral to this whole thing that might convince me to go up.
Yeah. So Release Team, DevOps tool specialists. We provide professional services and software reselling around the leading software DevOps tools like Atlassian, GitLab, GitHub, JFrog, and others. To talk with us about DevOps, here's our contact information. Please call 866-887-0489 or via email at info@releaseteam.com.
I'll give you the B.
Okay. I will settle for B on that.
All right. And the last round, to round us off, the last 3 minutes here, let's go to AI.
Yeah. So 1, 2, and 3, I'm going to give it a D.
I was going to give it a B.
Oh, wow. We're really far apart on this one. So why would you go as high as a B?
Because they were really, you really hyped up their Duo thing.
I love Duo. I think Duo is worthwhile. But compared to GitHub and Bitbucket, I can't rate it much. I can go as high as C,
I mean, I don't see AI happening a whole lot in Bitbucket yet.
Yeah.
So I was gonna give GitHub the highest. And
I was as well. GitHub gets the highest out of this.
If I was trying to cry, I don't think it's I think GitLab's investing enough into Duo, right, to make it
It's changing a lot. I was just on a conference call today where they talked about all the changes. So we have to rate it on what it is, what exists now. But yeah, they are investing a lot, and we're going to have many flavors of Duo going forward. But right now we only have one flavor of Duo.
Well, maybe we just.
Well, actually, we have two flavors.
We can meet in the middle then and give it a C.
Yeah,
it's just there.
Comfortable with a C.
It exists.
Yeah. It is actually pretty solid. Yeah, but like GitHub, I give GitHub an A.
I was gonna go straight with an A as well because
did a 1, 2, 3, but
yeah, 1, 2, 3, A.
A.
Because GitHub's, I mean, it's on the backbone of Copilot, and Microsoft's investing so much into Copilot. And just today, Satya made an announcement where using natural language, you should be able to talk to your IDE and it'll create all this working application for you. Devil's in the details, but
yeah,
Microsoft's is triple, quadruple, if not 10x down on AI.
Yeah.
And so it's only a matter of time before all this trickles into GitHub, and it's based off of Copilot. So
yeah.
And for Rovo, we'll go 1, 2, 3,
B.
D.
Oh, D. Oh, we're reversed again. So yeah, I think it could have, it needs a lot of improvement. It was the last of their big products to actually have Rovo in it, and most of it truly is still Atlassian Intelligence and not really Rovo.
Right. I see like a gimmick, and I see it gimmicky still. I'm not getting a whole lot of value. I know it's got a lot of potential in the future.
Yeah.
But right now, I'm not feeling
its code suggestions are equivalent to Copilot. I don't necessarily think that they're worse than Copilot or GitLab's Duo code suggestions. But other than code suggestions, the whole code review suggested reviewers, which I think is a gimmick. Do you really need AI to suggest who should be code reviewing your code? In most projects, the other people, and you don't need AI to tell you that so and so is the best person to code review it. The code explanations I think is pretty solid, and the merge request summarization I think is pretty good.
You think it's
Um,
working? All right,
I,
I'll be
I think
persuaded.
it's working. Um,
All right, I'll give it the B, then I'll come up to.
yeah.
I just think out of all the Atlassian intelligence and robo features, like it's the one that I'm least impressed by.
Okay. So of the 3 sets of scores, GitHub is the closest to actually spelling a word.
Abacadabra.
Yeah.
So interestingly, GitLab gets 2 S's, like near perfect, if not perfect scores, but it comes down. You're paying a price for it.
Yeah.
And so I think if I had to pick, again, not sponsored by anybody. I know Sean, you're partners with everybody.
I am
But
partners with all 3 of these vendors. Yes.
yeah, so but if I had to pick, given that I'm not sponsored by anybody or pick anybody, and you're up against a rock in a hard place, here's what I would say. If you are public sector, if you have a big, huge existing infrastructure that's non-cloud, GitLab's a clear winner for you.
Oh yes,
Like,
100%. That's when we go down this decision tree with customers. Where are you doing your development?
yeah,
That's the first thing to choose, and um, you know that's GitLab right now. 3 years ago, Bitbucket was a contender in there as well. But with Atlassian's push to cloud, they've kind of left that market behind. And looking at our scores here, even if Bitbucket Data Center was still, relative, not a relative, a possible choice, GitLab would still beat it.
yep. I would say if you're a startup, right? If you're a new company and money's tight and you need to get something in, Bitbucket is a clear contender
Yeah.
because it's the cheapest and it's going to give you that core functionality. You're still going to need a pony up for Jira, but Atlassian does have their Atlassians for Startups initiative that basically gives you all the products for like a year if you're funded and you're making like less than $1 million or something like that. So
for startups, that's probably easy to.
yeah. But I would also argue that if you have a little bit of money to spend and you are maybe a smaller person company, I think if you don't hit those 2 edge cases that we just described, I would say go with GitLab. I'm sorry, GitHub.
GitHub, yeah.
Yeah. Go
And
with
so
GitHub.
there's another potential decision tree here, edge case, I guess, and that is, do you have to collaborate with someone other than your own employees? So do you need to share code outside the company? And since these are all Git based solutions, there's multiple different ways of doing that. But if you want to share it from your enterprise Git solution, it may be more difficult to do that with a Bitbucket or GitLab than it would with a GitHub.
Yeah. So I would say hit those edge cases. It's going to take you to GitLab and Bitbucket, and then everybody else in general, just as a blanket, like the safest bet for you, if you're not in any of those 2 edge cases or the 3 edge cases that Sean here described, then GitLab might be the right one for you.
Yeah.
And they come with the cool swag bag.
Definitely hit up the partner that you're working with or the or the vendor to get that initial swag bag to be a first time customer.
Yeah, and if you need any help with any of the stuff, right, link down below for release team. They're a qualified team of experts that can help you out and get you going with your best foot forward.
Definitely. All right. Well, we wanted to keep this one short and sweet, and we probably almost went as long as all the other videos.
So make sure you hit the subscribe button, drop a like, and we'll see you next week.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Bye.